Hello my friends, welcome back to today's video. I'm delighted to have you here at Thuja today because we are going to be talking about something that I think cracks the beverage code for homemakers. So if you're interested, stay tuned. I've got more for you. All right, well, who of us doesn't love to have something fun to drink at mealtime? I know for our family over the years, we've enjoyed having sparkling water mixed with a little bit of juice as just kind of a way to spice up mealtime and have a sense of celebration with a fancy drink. Now, when I found water kefir years ago, I felt like it cracked the beverage code for me, and I hope that it does the same for you as well. There have been many times as a homemaker where I have worked on making kombucha or I have bought kombucha at the store, and to be honest with you, I really don't enjoy making kombucha because I feel like the process is kind of futzy. I also don't necessarily love the price tag of kombucha week after week, and so making water kefir has been the key that unlocks the door to a frugal and fun beverage each night of the week. My family loves it, it's nutritious, it's affordable, and I think you're gonna really love it too. So I'm gonna show you how to make it today. So let's get started. Okay, so for water kefir, you're gonna need just a few things, and they're super basic and affordable. To make water kefir, you will need some water kefir grains. Now I have purchased these from a company called Yimus, and I have purchased many of their live active cultures in the past, and I have found them to be fabulous. Over the years, I've also purchased from Cultures for Health, and they're also great. Another option is if you have a friend making water kefir, you can get about a tablespoon of their active grains and go ahead and start making your culture at home. Now, it's a lot like sourdough in that way, or milk kefir grains. You can share your grains as they proliferate over time. Now, the one thing that you need to keep in mind is water kefir grains are not the same as milk kefir grains. They are not interchangeable. You cannot use one for the other. You have to have your own milk kefir grains and your own water kefir grains, and they have to be separate. And that is because they work with different mediums. Obviously, with your water kefir grains, they are going to be living in a medium of sugar water. And with your milk kefir grains, they are going to be living in a medium of milk. And so that's the distinction there. Another thing you're going to need with homemade water kefir is some filtered water. Now, it's important that the water is filtered because chlorinated water can damage healthy grains, and so you're going to want to make sure you get some sort of fresh, clean, filtered water so that your grains can proliferate and be healthy over time. And the last thing you're going to need is sugar of some sort. So I like to use organic brown sugar because it has molasses in it and that gives it a higher mineral content. You can also just use white cane sugar. I've heard of some people using sucanat or rapadura. I prefer organic brown sugar. I can get it really affordably at Aldi. I like the way it makes our water kefir taste, and it has helped to maintain my grains over the years very well. Now, that being said, these are relatively old grains. I've had these for about 4 years, and they're doing really well. I'm one of those people who make water kefir all year round. I don't differentiate and just make it in the summer. I make it fall, winter, spring, summer, because it's our favorite thing to drink at night with our meals. And so these grains have been going strong for the last 4 years. And only recently I felt like it might be time to give them a little bit of a boost. And so that's why I went ahead and ordered another pack of grains. And so what I'm gonna do today is show you from start to finish how to get started on making water kefir. So if you're brand new to making water kefir and you've never done it before, this video is for you. I do have a video on YouTube, which I will link in the description below, of what to do when you need to take a break from making kefir, whether that be milk kefir or water kefir, because there are times when you cannot be making kefir all the time. Whether it's because you're going on vacation or you just need a break, I hope the video I made will help you. And so we're gonna go ahead now and get started making water kefir. I hope you enjoy today's video. All right, well right here I have my current stash of water kefir. I only make 2 at a time because that suits our family's needs pretty well. At any given time, I have my sugar water with my kefir grains on the counter, fermenting, and then I will have my second fermentation of my water kefir in these jars. This is the first ferment and this is the second ferment. This second step is not necessary unless you like your water kefir to be fizzy, which I don't know a person who doesn't, quite frankly. It ends up becoming like a natural soda, which is so delightful. And so we always go for the second ferment. If you don't like carbonation of any kind, you can just bottle the first ferment up after a day or 2 on the counter and stick it in your refrigerator, and you won't get that fizzy carbonated taste to your water kefir. These bottles are essential. You can get them from Amazon. You can also buy a French lemonade from the store and just reuse the flip top bottle for your own water kefir. It doesn't necessarily have to be amber glass. I've got 2 bottles that I just pulled out of the fridge. You can hear there's a little pop when I open them. This one we opened for dinner last night. This one may have a bigger pop. I don't know if you can hear that. It just fizzes a little bit, but it ends up being really nice and refreshing. And I'll just pour a glass here so you can see it. We like it cold as well. You can put ice in your cup. And as you can see here, it's just a nice, pinky, fizzy drink. And it's great for a hot summer night or even a cool winter night. We like it at any time of the year. And so that's what that looks like. So these will live in the refrigerator until they've been consumed. And so for us, we go through one of these bottles at mealtime. And so within about 2 days, I'll need another set of 2. So once I've gone ahead and taken these off the counter, I stick them in the fridge, and then I work on my second ferment of the water kefir. And I'm gonna show you that process in just a minute. But what I wanna do first is I wanna help the beginner who hasn't started their water kefir grains yet. When you get your grains in the mail, they're gonna come like this. And on my package, it says, "We are eager to settle." So basically to get these in the refrigerator within 24 hours of arrival. I got these a couple days ago in the mail and I just stuck them in the fridge because I wanted to have them available for the video today. So we're gonna go ahead and open up our water kefir grains now. And with any reputable culture company, they're gonna send you with instructions of how to prepare your grains and get them ready. So that's always really helpful when you're just starting out. Yimu sends this nice little note card. I've gotten these over the years and I always just keep them in my recipe box. So what they have us doing first is straining the grains. I believe it probably came in some kind of a liquid. Oh, yep, there it is. And they actually smell kind of like yogurt. When you get them, you'll see. And what we're gonna do first is strain our grains out over the sink. So I have a little plastic strainer. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and strain our brand new fresh grains over my jar and into my strainer. Make sure I get them all out of there. There's a clump left at the bottom. There we go. They're really cool looking. They're kind of gelatinous and clear. They're very different than milk kefir grains. You'll notice that if you make milk kefir. Now that we have strained off our water kefir grains, we're gonna go ahead and add 4 cups of filtered water to this jar with 6 tablespoons of organic brown sugar. And we're gonna mix it up and we're gonna leave it covered on the counter for the next 48 hours. After this has sat on the counter for 48 hours, we're gonna strain the liquid from the grains and repeat the process again. Now, what they say with new grains is that it takes a couple of batches before you're gonna get them acclimated to your environment, your temperature, your sugar. And so it might take 2 or 3 of this draining and straining of the grains from the sugar water to get your grains up to par again. Also think about the fact that they've been traveling. So you're kind of doing this process to wake them up in order to help you make a sufficient batch of water kefir. Okay, we've got just about 4 cups in here and we are gonna add 6 tablespoons of brown sugar to our water. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and give our sugar water a nice stir. And we're gonna add in our brand new water kefir grains to this sugar water mixture. And there it is. And now, as I mentioned, we're gonna cover this and leave this on the counter for the next 48 hours. All right, so that is the process for how to get brand new kefir grains started and acclimated so that you can make your own homemade water kefir. The next thing I want to show you is what to do if your grains are already established. It's a really easy process. Every couple of days, you're just gonna drain and strain and refeed. And if you like a fizzy water kefir, you're gonna do a second ferment in these bottles and leave it on the counter for another day. Once they have been fermented for another day, you're gonna stick them in the fridge, at which point you can enjoy them and start the process all over again. Okay, so this particular jar has been sitting on the counter for the last about 2 days, and I'm gonna take off my cover and I'm gonna strain my old grains out into a brand new jar. And I do this about every 2 days. And as you can see, my grains are nice and brown. They've kind of been colored from the brown sugar that I use every time I refeed them. And they're healthy. They smell kind of sweet and tangy, sort of like a milk kefir grain. So once I have strained my kefired sugar water, I'm gonna put them into my flip top bottles for a second ferment. I love these little nifty foldable funnels. They fit so well in drawers if you don't have a lot of space. And so I like to fill these bottles up to about the shoulder so that they don't get too full. Just like that. All right, and then the next step is optional, but we always go this route because we like them to be a little bit flavored. Right now, it's just gonna be a cultured sugar water. So what we do is we add a little bit of juice to each bottle, and I would encourage you to do the same if you like a little bit of extra tang or sweetness to your water kefir. I buy these juices from Aldi. They are organic, they're in glass bottles, and they're a superfood juice, and I think the taste is delicious. It has pomegranate, tart cherry, red grape, strawberry, mulberry, fig, and cranberry. And so I've been using this particular juice for years with my water kefir, and we're just in love with the flavor. All right, so now I go up to about the middle of the neck, maybe a little less in these bottles. What happens if you fill them too full, they will quite literally explode. And if you leave them too long on the counter, that's actually dangerous. So don't do that. You don't want them to explode. No more than a day and a half should these be left on the counter. Now, if it is cool in your kitchen, that will impact how fast they ferment. But in the summer, on the hot days when my kitchen is really hot, we sometimes don't even leave these for more than a day. In fact, I've left them 8 hours and they've gotten fizzy in that amount of time. Be mindful of the temperature of your kitchen, and I advise you not to leave them for more than a day and a half at any given time. We're gonna click the lids down and we're gonna set these on the counter for the next day to day and a half. All right, and last but not least, we are going to make up some sugar water, and we're gonna add our old grains into it so that they have something to thrive in for the next day to day and a half. So you're gonna get a quart of filtered water, which I will do now. And to your quart of filtered water, you're gonna add 1/4 cup of brown sugar or sugar of your choice. All right, we're gonna mix that together. And now we're gonna add our old kefir grains into this sugar water mixture. All right, so now our old kefir grains are in the new sugar water mixture, and I'm gonna go ahead and cover the jar with my little cloth cover, and I'm gonna leave this mixture on the counter for the next day and a half, at which point I will repeat the entire process all over again. All right, friends, that is it. That is an instructional video of how to get your new water kefir grains ready for making homemade water kefir, and how to continue using your current water kefir grains to make fresh water kefir every day. I hope that today's video was a help to you. If you haven't started making water kefir yet, I would highly encourage it. It's so economical, it's so tasty, and it's actually good for you. And there's not a lot of things you can say that about these days. So I hope this is a blessing to you in your homemaking and to your family. So friends, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me over here at Thuja Hill. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you in another brand new video very soon. Goodbye for now.